In this episode, guys, I think what we're going to try and do in this one is remove the bell housing.
Don't sell that. What I was thinking of doing.
Make a hat. So let's get our bell housing off.
Let's get our bell housing off.
Cue the music, please, guys.
I'm gonna skip my breaks, I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna skip my breaks, I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna skip my breaks, I'm gonna make mistakes. Look at beautiful stars, I wanna drive a faster car.
Hi guys, and welcome to this episode of Make or Break. On the last episode of Make or Break, you saw our absolutely beautiful limited slip diff from Quaife, supplied by Tornado Sports Cars. And now we're on the next part. We're going to be stripping this gearbox down. And I don't know if this is going to take us a week, 2 weeks or 3 weeks, but all we care about is doing it properly.
Or if we're even going to be able to do it at all.
Yeah, because we are more than happy to admit if we're in too deep. And already I'm looking at this and I think, Josh, we are in too deep.
It's a truth time. I'm an alright mechanic, I'm fairly clever, I'm not going to blow my own trumpet too much, but I have never in my life taken apart a transaxle gearbox.
Me neither.
So today is going to be, I'll tell you what I've also not done.
What?
I've also not checked these shafts, outputs, to make sure that this already hasn't got a slipper in it.
Okay, so you and me both understand what the idea is and how we can test, right?
Yeah.
So this is our input shaft here. Okay, so your engine goes round, and this part here is disconnected or connected to the engine via the use of a clutch, right?
Correct.
When that turns, that up there, as you can see, guys, allows both of those hubs to turn or not when it's not in gear. Right, there you go, right? But if you grab hold of one of those, Josh.
Here's our moment of truth. Do we have an open diff? We do have an open
We
diff.
have,
we are not wasting thousands of pounds on a Quaife slipper for no reason.
So what that allows you to do is this one here can still spin, even though that one has completely lost traction. This one, but if you hold that one.
I was just about to say, as per our previous video, I'm now going to demonstrate. So say we're going around a right-hand corner.
Yep.
What's going to want to happen if you turn the input shaft is this wheel is going to want to turn slower than this wheel. And that is what a differential, especially an open differential, really helps with. Because it will now send power to the wheel that's going to be turning the most.
Yep.
So it will send the power now to the outside wheel because the inside wheel will be bound up by the fact that we're going around a bend.
Yep.
That is what a diff does. Simply that. So,
moving on from the diff, on the top here we have what we call a slave cylinder. When you press that clutch pedal, that moves a master cylinder, okay, which pushes fluid down this rod here and allows this arm to be pushed out when released. So how it works, okay, is most people understand that with a cable, okay, you have a cable, you pull the cable, let go, and a spring pulls it back, okay? Same kind of principle, but fluid moves in one way. So fluid is here in your braking system. When you press the master cylinder, it pushes the fluid forward, therefore pushing this out. When you let go of the pedal moves back and the fluid goes back in exactly the same motion. So it's basically like pushing a rod, but basically you can move it around bends.
So layman's terms with brake hydraulics and clutch hydraulics, I like to try and explain to people as, imagine two syringes, cowboy syringes, connected by a little piece of pipe.
Yep.
One of them is all the way shut, one of them is all the way open.
Yep.
When you push one,
it opens
and
up.
you shut it, it'll open the other one. Imagine that, but one of them's got something pressing back against it, i.e. in this case the clutch. So you can push this one as hard as you like and it will open this one. But as soon as you relieve pressure from where you're pushing, the fluid will push back on itself.
And the clutch springs will actually allow it to go back.
That's what the clutch springs are doing. They're pushing back on the syringe essentially. So this is basically just a syringe with a pipe running off it that goes back to another syringe. The first syringe is operated by your foot, i.e. the clutch pedal, and that will push this syringe out, acting on this cantilever which will push this in, and that will act on our clutch springs and release our clutch,
or disengage
our clutch from our engine, therefore stopping this from being driven by the engine and allowing you to change gear.
Yep. And
it sounds so simple when you explain it, but it's one of those things.
This here is your clutch fork, which I'm going to try and remove, like that. And basically what you have is a lovely little clip here which allows the clutch fork to stay on this ball bearing here, and the ball allows you to operate this like this, okay? So when you push your slave, your master, and it pushes the slave, that pushes it like that, okay? So that pushes it out acts against this pivot and allows the clutch to become disconnected, all right? And that is in beautiful condition. The clip and the spring is nice, the rod is not rusted, and it is in very good condition.
We're only going to put a normal standard style clutch back in this, aren't we? Maybe a heavy duty clutch.
We're putting
not a paddle clutch or anything like that back
nothing
in.
paddle, we're just doing a heavy strong one, so it's like a road race clutch. So
the only thing I'm noticing with that fork that we might do is I might turn this into what's called a heavy duty fork.
Okay.
And all that basically means is I'm going to weld a piece of plate across there so that if this ever pushes through on that pivot point, you'll have an extra piece of beefy metal there.
Love that.
As a get you home.
Okay, cool. In here, obviously you've got your input shaft, and the input shaft, this here sits in what you call a spigot bearing, which sits in the middle of the flywheel, and that basically allows that to always run central, okay, but also be supported too, because there'll be a bearing inside this gearbox that supports the other end, but obviously as you can see, that wiggles around. So if that sits in a spigot bearing, that keeps that nice and central. And when we're fitting the clutch later on the engine, which is going to be, you know, a few episodes down the road, you'll see we'll use a clutch aligning tool, or I'll use my eye, because I've learned a way of doing it by eye, and you know, there's different ways of doing it. In this episode, guys, I think what we're going to try and do in this one is remove the bell housing, because
see what we can see behind it.
Not a lot of people know, okay, but Tornado sports cars have developed and spent thousands of pounds developing a new bell housing, okay?
We're going to buy one.
I may have already bought one.
We may have already
bought one. The guys at Tornado have been so supportive. Please, guys, if you're going to buy any parts, go and check them out, because they answer the phone. That is one of the hardest things nowadays, trying to get hold of someone and answer the phone. And basically, they supply a bell housing, a small starter motor, okay, a clutch kit and a flywheel. Because basically what we found with our old flywheel, okay, is the bolt heads was you have to re-drill the flywheel to allow it to fit the Chevy engine, and normally people swap with the Ford engine, sorry, with a Transit one and re-drill the holes, and it's never pretty, it's never safe, and they do have a tendency to crack. The new kit is completely developed to allow this. We don't need on the next bell housing, we don't need that adapter plate.
Oh, lovely.
Which is nice. So the bell housing is already designed to go straight on the 302.
Yeah.
So let's get our bell housing off.
Let's get our bell housing off.
Cue the music, please, guys.
They are.
Do you want to support the gearbox, Monfran? There we go. A little bit of cracking these bolts off will help. Obviously, we are using an extension, guys, and using an extension with an impact gun will actually reduce the torque of the gun, and it won't be as powerful.
Also, I don't expect these bolts have ever been out. If they have,
In a long
time.
They're all stainless, though.
And it's a steel bolt in an aluminium casting, I'm assuming.
I'm going to ask you a technical question. I'm going to see if you know the answer. Do you know what the 8.8 means on the end of that bolt?
I'm going to do a little wee-wee on your big bonfire.
Are you going to completely
Yes, I do.
saturate my... you can use a gun now, I reckon.
8.8 is the tensile rating. It's the tensile strength of the bolt. So you get several different ratings. The most common in automobiles is 8.8, and sometimes you will see 10.9.
And what that means, guys, is if you tighten that bolt all the way up with a torque wrench, that is the basically the tolerance or the torque that bolt will give way or snap or break, yeah?
So tensile strength is a posh word. It basically means how far you can do it up before it will twist and snap.
Do we have a little packet or something we can put these in so we know what's there? Or should we place them back in the bell housing? Yeah, we're going to send everything off to
just for now, and then
yeah.
I'll top them up.
Sandwich bags is a good one, by the way, guys. You can actually write on the sandwich bag what parts are for. Copper emerald.
Do bears in the woods
urinate and defecate? This is going to fall off, isn't it?
Right. It should.
So it's held together with, I can see there's a red sealant, which obviously basically keeps it on there.
Now, we are not sure whether there is any
bolts come through the other way.
No, it won't be. Any parts of the gearbox
Oh, hang on.
to the bottom.
We missed some underneath. So there you go, guys. We are happy to admit when we are skipping the... We've got 4 bolts underneath here at the base. You can see...
That's why when I was hitting it with the hammer I wasn't hitting very hard.
And that's why we stopped hitting it with a hammer. Give it a couple of taps. Did it work? No. Cool. Let's see if there's anything else.
To be fair, you bought a new bell housing, so if it cracked, really the end
It's not the point, Joshua. There's someone out there that's going to want it.
Yeah, but I love spending your money.
What colour are we paint, mate? What colour are we going to paint our gearbox?
Gold.
Gold?
Gold.
I like you. That's why we got on so well. I was thinking we could do something.
I'm thinking black frame.
Black chassoir.
Maybe black engine, but gold gearbox.
I want to find out what the engine colour was at the real GT40 and we're going to paint that colour. I understand what you're saying though, I like
I
it.
believe it was baby pink.
Baby pink, I was thinking metallic purple. Go for it.
Metallic purple and green. Right, I believe this is still got oil. I think it's still got oil in it. I didn't drain it because it's going to be sat for a little while. See, that's moving with ease now. I'm going to just because it'll be dowel. So if I can put that in there, that's enough. Okay.
And it should slide.
I'm just going to hold that there a second until we get a little tuck because it will be full of oil. I didn't want to drain it.
Oh no, it's having a wee! It's having a wee! Quick, run away!
It's right, my table won't rust.
Not anymore.
Right, just stand up slightly. I'll get another piece of chalking. If I can find one. Of course, that's the only thing that I didn't prepare. Okay.
Now,
That's lovely. That's wonderful.
there we have. Oh, look at that! Very short. Is that? That's no. I was thinking it might have been crap. We got a nice casting number there. We are going to shot blast this and clean it up because we may need to reuse our dowels here on the new one. I don't know if the new bell housing is going to come with those dowels.
If we don't sell that, what I was thinking of doing.
Make a hat.
No.
We can make a.
Any pieces of GT40 that we don't use and don't make trophies on.
Yeah.
I was going to try and keep and make some kind of sculpture from them and give it to you as something to put in your office.
Love that. You're my favourite.
Cool little thing to do.
Sure, you're the best in my eyes.
Right. What's a real shame is that this ladder section wasn't unbolted. If this ladder section was unbolted,
We're 14 minutes in, mister.
we'd have been able to basically slide that dish straight out the front. Where is it?
You might be able to.
Might be able to.
Guys, thanks for watching another episode of Make or Break. We have successfully removed our bell housing and we can see the part that we're replacing. And you can see all the gears moving.
That's all the
Look
sun
at that.
gears, the crown wheel is here, the pinion gear is at the back, you can't quite see it. You should see it in the next episode or two. And there you can see the whole theory of an open disc
Love it.
at work. Beautiful.
Thanks again, guys, for watching another episode. See you next time. Bye for now. Quick reminder, hit that subscribe button, the like button, and then the bell button, so you get alerts when we release new episodes, and follow us on social media too for extra stuff and more alerts about videos we're releasing, which at the moment is every Sunday and the odd Wednesday too. Bye for now.